user, but it opens an idea, doesn't it? I wanted to plant that in our head before we move on. Yes, sir.
I want to answer your question.
Yes, sir.
In great detail.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, depending on what generation you're in, because I agree with the little young man said there also, because a lot of younger females tend to try and push younger kids. But there was a time when a man was raised by his mother, father, grandmother, grandparents, period, that a man should never put his hands on a woman. Okay? And it is possible for a grown man to be abused by a woman because he knows that that man is not going to put his hands on her no matter what circumstances she may put him under. Yeah. That's just to answer your question, to get just to make it short instead of long.
Okay.
Short version.
All right. Yes, sir.
And touch on what he said. Men are real ego-driven, and if someone, not just a woman, but someone knows how to press a button. Being a teacher, certain students know what to say to other students, and your spouse or your significant other would know what to say to you and how to say it to you. Like the gentleman said, you want to seek refuge when you come home from a hard day's of work. If you two are not on the same accord, things can fly off the handle, mouth and hands, things like that. But like the gentleman said, we're not supposed to hit a woman. Basically, you're supposed to be able to take that on and throw it back out the proper way. It's supposed to be given back. You can diffuse whatever is someone that's doing, because the devil is always busy, and he takes on many forms. So.
You're going to have church in here. This gentleman and then Ms. Jones and then Ms. Yeah. Yes. I'll get the audio for later. Good man. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I was going to say, just looking at the students, I'm talking about my middle school, and even my 5th and 6th graders, how the girls taunt the boys. They're just not having it. These young boys, they don't have anyone around their home to say, don't hit that. And I told my girls, don't hit them. No one just smacked them. And they hit the boys, and bam. So you see that a lot. And also you see the, how can I put this, the taunting with the girls, with the boys, and they don't think you're supposed to say anything back. But it's a whole new generation now. These little boys are going, they're fighting back. They don't care. And they, and I pull them in the office, why don't you hit her? She's a girl. I don't care what she is. My mother said, if somebody hit me, but she was 6'2", and she is only, whatever. I don't care. So this is what we're dealing with the younger generation. These kids, they're growing up with that mindset. How are we going to reach our younger generation and the young girls to feel better about themselves? It's not just physical abuse, verbal abuse. You're not going to be ITCH. Don't accept that. That's right. And smile and say that's okay, and that's your one. So that's what I'm dealing with over here as an educator. Teaching girls at an early age, so maybe they won't accept domestic violence as they get older, not to accept what they're getting, because they're getting a lot. I'm telling you. You're in the cafeteria for 10 minutes, you see what they're getting. And it makes me sick.
So you wanted to?
I raised 3 daughters.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah.
I expect you to come say, pray for me. Well, one of the things I told my daughters is there are signs when it's coming. A guy will test a woman. I said, if he grabs you, if he hollers at you, never speak to him again. Get away from him, because he's trying the waters. It's as simple as that. With regard to the female control piece, I found that lots of times, because nothing is absolute, when you have a woman who's very aggressive toward a male, ask her how her relationship was with her father. And lots of times you're going to find a lot of trauma was there. And they're really angry with that, and you represent something from their past. And then I call it the syndrome when mom was broke up from daddy, auntie was broke up from uncle, sister was broke up from so all these little girls are hearing this stuff about men. And so they come up with this anger, and you're not going to do this to me. So they seek to have control over the man. Coupled with what he said, that sometimes men are taught. Now, some men will say, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But some men say, like my mother told me, never put your hands on a female, but she put a clause in there. She said, but if she steps out of the place of a female, and there have been times when I've had females aggressively attack me, and I had to defend myself. And so this is what I consider when Mama said, okay, she's no longer a lady, and she wants to hurt me. So I had to do that. But someone will exploit that caveat this gentleman was talking about, where they know that there's not going to be any repercussions against them, so they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. But even in back of that, there's some broken connection, and that's why my thing is pushing men. And I want to first say, a lot of women have control with boys. Until fathers step up to the plate, you're going to have these type of situations because fathers teach boys how to treat women. And I've seen times when boys beat or mistreat their women. And I got them, but I talked to them. Their daddy did it. So it's again, you know, the father piece. And we can't let that, you know, like how many men are here now? We should have no men here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
I agree with all the men said, but there's also another component with the women. It's not just the young ladies, and I work with parents as well. And sometimes I have to talk to the women, and we have very independent women, and like I tell them, because they say, well, Ms. Alicia, how do you do what it is that you do? Yes, I do all of these things, but I also know how to back down and be a lady, because we have so many women who are, like they said, aggressive, and then they say, you know that man is not going to hit you. But I've driven behind a car, and this woman, I don't know what the relationship was in the car in front of me, and she just hauled off and started punching this man in the face. And he kept on driving, not skipping a beat or anything. And I think a lot of women take advantage of that situation. And then they get, like we said, we had times of change where women are more professional now. They're making a lot more money, and they're in these positions. And so some women do use that and say, well, I do this, I do that, and make it seem as if that they don't need a man. So I understand what he was saying when we have a lot of women that degrade our men, and we need to balance it out. And that's not what's going on. So it's not just the young ladies. It's women as well who come into this new role, this power position. They don't need a man, and I hear them saying that. So when my female parents say that, I say that is not true. We need our men, regardless of what that man did to you. Those children need their father, and yes, you need a man. I need men for all kinds of reasons, you know, lift things to help me for guidance, whether it's finance, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, for moral support. No, really, like I had a group, and for me personally as a woman, because I have to be careful of where it is that I go with my book and things like that, I have a group of men that I can call that are like big brothers to me, where I can get that male perspective, and they're going to tell me the truth. They're not trying to sleep with me. They're protective of me, and I have that. So, and I can say, well, this is the situation that's going on, and they'll say, no, this is what it is. So they give me that advice. So we need our men as leaders. We need them in the school, but that's not what is being taught for not just for the younger generation, but there's a whole disconnect, I believe, from the 20 to maybe 40 to 50 years old. It's just not there.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.